Hey guys, welcome to this episode of the Mill Spill. I'm breaking the myth that uh, we do not have slip discs. I hear it all the time. Patients come in, friends, family tell me, I think I slipped a disc, or someone in the health field has told me that I slipped a disc. This is just physiologically and structurally untrue. It can't happen. We can have bulges, tearing, sequestering, chunks break off, things like that. But the slipping of a disc is really kind of impossible to happen. And just breeds a negative connotation to what it means to have an injury of the spine. Like I said, the spine is very strong, and I'll put up a picture here of the actual disc itself first. Then we'll look at the spine and see how structurally that's put together. And then why it breaks down or causes injury and my thoughts on that. Because we should be able to have a strong, flexible spine that tolerates a lot and any activity that we want to. So in this picture here, it's a picture of the actual disc, and it's kind of cool because it's super strong, and the outside of the disc is kind of layered in diagonals with this tissue called the annular tissue, and it's super thick, and it's built this way on diagonals so that it can tolerate both pushing and pulling of the spine. The problem comes into mind with that annular tissue is that the rotational components, it can kind of wear and tear over a long period of time, and that can cause kind of the breakdown that you see. But that doesn't mean that you have an actual disc problem. The inside of the disc is called the nucleus pulposa, and that's kind of like a liquidy fluid. And this is where if you have enough irritation at the annular tissue, or in the presence of trauma, it can actually kind of push through that and squirt out. And that can create quite a bit of pain and discomfort. But again, it may not be what your symptoms are. The truth of the matter is that 5 of all back pain patients, or people who have back pain, 5% truly come from a nerve root issue. And I'll put up a picture of what the spine is here in a second to let you know where that is. But of those 5%, only 1% of those people have to have surgery. And yet it's one of the most common surgeries we see. So this is why I come and educate, because I think that there is a conservative way to treat these people and really find out why their back is breaking down, or their disc is slipping, so to speak, or I like to term it, there's just a little bit of increased stress at that particular segment. So here's a slide of the spine itself, and you can see, and I'll have listed out all the structures that actually protect the disc itself and how surrounded and encapsulated it really is. So to have disc issues, and I have them all listed here, but what you can actually see is it takes a lot of stress over a lot of period of time, again, in the presence of no major trauma, to break that area down. And that's why, I tell people all the time who come in that I kind of look at the spine and the stress of the spine like this old adage, right? It has to look, act, and quack like a duck to be a duck. So people who may say they have a slipped disc or a disc bulge or anything involving the disc, but there's some certain symptoms that we have to kind of pay attention to. One of the biggest one is weight bearing. Can you put weight on the leg without it increasing your pain? This helps you kind of categorize it a little bit more. Does the pain cross the knee? Are you having pain with coughing, sneezing? Is sitting much worse? Do you have any problems with bowel or bladder? Those are a little more major in regards to if the disc is involved. And a lot of times people don't, and they have to fit those criteria in order for me to kind of lean toward a disc. And even in that situation, I may have patients that I think it has some, but not all. So they may be on the border, but still very treatable. What we do know about discs is that they heal. They have a poor blood supply, but they do actually heal. And the turnover rate for healing is probably about a year of doing the right movements, exercises, strategies. But when you compare that to having surgery, it's about the same anyway. And the one thing about surgery is that once you've affected the structure of that area, other areas are still being under stress. So That's something that we have to kind of negotiate as we're going through therapy. So my job is to find out what those stress points are and treat them. So I think there's a lot of things that can factor into the stress at the spine, but it is a very strong structure. We just have to address what is actually putting the stress in that area, treat that, and you might even get relief. And you might actually find out that it's not as bad as you think it is. And back pain, although it's one of the most common things and prevalent things that we see, it doesn't have to be all that complicated to treat. As long as you educate your people and as long as you understand the underlying mechanisms of what's creating the stress and the issues at the spine and disc level. I hope this helps. So stay tuned for more, guys. And, we can treat the back. It doesn't have to have surgery. So take care, have a good one, and invest in yourself.